Welcome back to the study prep, guys. Everyone, today we'll be looking at section one, the nature of business. This is to deal with early economics as it relates to the economical problem. So, our unlimited needs and wants far exceeds the limited resources available to satisfy our needs and even wants. So, scarcity is a very fundamental economic issue or problem. It's of having seemingly unlimited human wants in comparison to limited real world resources. It states that society has insufficient productive resources to fulfill all human wants and needs. Scarcity leads to the concept of choice, which is making a decision between several choices. Example, having to make choices at the grocery store. You can't really purchase everything within the store. However, you can purchase the things that you do need the most. So, what's economic or what is an economy? Because economics and economy is two very distinct things, and I will allow you to tell me your thoughts at the end of the video. But economy, this is any place or location where economical activity exists, i.e., consumers and producers interact. Economies also interact with government and the international sector. We have subsistent economy, this occurrence amongst early humans whose basic needs and wants are food, shelter, and clothing. These are called our primary needs. The needs of a village were satisfied from nature only, providing for themselves. This is also called direct production. This is where you interact with nature in itself to satisfy those primary needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. So, wherein the developmental strategies or development of economies, we introduce something called diversification or division of labor and specialization. Nomadic people settled to different areas such as around rivers. They begin to specialize in different tasks. Over a period of time, we were introduced to the concept of specialization. Specialization. This is a focus of effort on one particular task or product. Within over a period of time, humans become specialized in different areas in order to increase productive levels. So, specialization can exist in six different ways. By product, this could example in fishing, farming, poultry, or cattle, or by process, example oil extraction, refining by product, lubrication, and gases. By form, example Microsoft software, tablets, cell phones, or Google. By industry, example tourism, transportation, agricultural, extractive. This could be extractive of different agricultural and agricultural products. By region, example northern region of Trinidad for Shivi, or by nation, example Trinidad's oil, Switzerland's chocolates, Germany's automobiles. So let's look at some advantages of specialization that relates to the overall economical activity. So less time to train a person performing one job. If one person doing a particular job, they get better at it. It becomes easy for them. Tools are less expensive because the jobs are less complex. Output or production is increased. It is repetitive. Everyone knows what they have to do. Machines can be used to speed up production. Efficiency is improved, time related. The skill of the workers improved through repetition. And we have subsidized product or lower costs. This advantage of specialization is cannot work for niche or small markets. Difficult to motivate workers doing repetitive tasks. They're doing it over and over again. It becomes monotonous and boring. Industrial action is easier to organized and more effective. Workers cannot be easily replaced. Machines allow for individual craftsmanship to be lost, can be disrupted in the chain of production if worker is ill or absent. Occupational mobility, unable to transfer skills learned other jobs. So you can't really move a lot of places. For example, if you're doing a work in one country, you might not be able to be flexible and work anywhere you like to go and work abroad. So we have that specialization. That's what specialization is in its most simplistic of senses. Let's look at the term barter now. And in simpler economies before the advent of money, bartering was used. So, bartering is a very simple concept. Its definition is the exchange of goods or services for other goods or services without using money. So, I give you a pen and you give me back a book, or I give you a car and you give me a truck. That's what the basic gist of it is. Let's look at disadvantage to bartering. A double coincidence of ones can only exchange if each party desires what the other party has. Rate of exchange could be difficult to be decided upon. Some goods are not divisible. Goods are bulky and difficult to transport, store of value. Some goods are perishable and cannot be stored for a long time. So let's look at some basic terms and concept for business. So capital dash producer goods. These are tangible assets or goods that are used to produce other goods. Example, buildings, vehicles, stocks, raw materials. We have consumer goods. These are goods that are ultimately consumed rather than used in the production of another good. Final product. We have primary goods. These are raw materials, agriculture, fishing, farming. Or these are the goods that are utilized in production of consumer goods. We have consumer, that is everyone in the world basically. A person who purchases goods or services for personal use and plays a vital role in the economy. We have a free good, a good that is not scarce and available without limits. Example, air, desert, and water in the ocean. We have private good is defined in economies as item that yields positive benefits to people that it is exhaustible or it is excludable, i.e., its owners can exercise private property rights, preventing those who have not paid for it from using the good or consuming its benefits. This could be example of bread. We have public goods. These goods are non-exclusive, i.e., no one individual can exclude another individual from receiving its benefits. Example, roads and bridges. Everyone could utilize that good. We have merit goods. These are goods that, when used, contribute a benefit to the wider society. Example, education. We have demerit goods. These are goods are consumed have a negative impact on the wider society. Good example of this is cigarettes. Could even be alcohol. It could even be alcohol. You just add that right there. Alcohol could also be one. Or alcohol is a demerit good also in this case. We have labor, these the human and physical effort in production process. Labor refers to the human capacity to produce goods and services. We have a market. This is a mechanism which allows buyers and sellers to interact in their interest. Example, online buying, financial market, and commodity market. Then we have the term opportunity cost is the value of the loss incurred as a result of sacrifice of the second best option or the next best choice foregone. I didn't make a video on this separately. So organization, the provision and coordinates of the forum's input to achieve the goals and objective of the forum. We have a producer, a person that sacrifice human wants by the organization resource to produce goods and services. Profit, total revenue exceeds total cost. This is when after all expenses are deducted, you still have a good amount of money left back, and that money is considered to be a profit. Total cost of production exceeds total revenue. This occurs in situation wherein your expenses far exceeds the money left back, meaning that you don't have any money left back after the transaction have been made. Services, these are the intangible activities that are provided by human ones. Example, banking, cleaning, insurance. So services are humans provide services. This could be in the form of internet services. It could be in a lot of services. These are intangible activities, meaning that you cannot touch it. You cannot. It's basically intangible. Tangible meaning that you could touch it. You could interact with it. Intangible meaning that you cannot really interact with it. Then we have the idea of direct services. A services that is incurred for their own sake. Example, haircut, repairs on a vehicle, and stuff like that. We have indirect services, services that is received along with benefiting from a direct service, or good example, delivery of pizza. That's indirect services. We have trade or exchange, the exchange of goods and services. From an example, international trade, distinguished from barter, which is the exchange of goods for goods. You have to make a sort of payments in the trade or exchange of goods through international agency. We have a commodity. This is a good that is traded, usually raw materials or primary agricultural products such as copper or coffee. You get a lot more bananas, yeast, and stuff like our other examples of that. We have enterprise, and I did had a recent comment that did give me some information about the difference between entrepreneurship and enterprise. And I am, because that is my mistake, and I really do apologize for that. But let's look to the present right now. So I'd like to say this could to the audience. An enterprise, this could mean a business. This is used to describe an undertaking of an activity with some degree of difficulty or task. This undertaking has specific purpose such as monetary goals. Enterprise can also mean initiative, which is doing or which is doing daring to do something new or different, challenging or risky. So enterprise could mean a business, but it's far more definitive than just the activity of our enterprise is far more than just being a business. It's far more. So that comment out there, I like to say that you have it is, yes, it is inclusive of land, labor, capital, and what's not, but it's that's not the overall definitive definition. So let's look at entrepreneurship, the practice of identifying a new innovative or opportunity, organizing the financing of the resources, and taking the risk in the hope of creating wealth. The entrepreneur is the individual who identifies the opportunity and risks the time and money to start to organize the new adventure. So entrepreneurship now, I like to say that back to the audience. Entrepreneurship, there's a big difference between entrepreneurship and enterprise. You are correct in saying that that person that made that comment in that video. But entrepreneurship now is solely the practice of identifying a new opportunity. But enterprise is far more than just that. So trade, it's a very simplistic definition for trade because this is a process of buying and selling goods now. Business engage in trade to make a profit. You buy and then you sell a good at a higher price in order to make a profit. That is what goes on substantially in every economical country and even every economy around the world. Trading is very prevalent. So, guys, this is everything for the Study Prep Guide today on this video. So, it's nice to be back with you today on this video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. And this is section one, the nature of business, early economics. This is all you need to know for to have a basic understanding of what economics truly is. So thank you, subscribe, hit the notification bell. See you on the next video.